Hey guys, welcome. Welcome aboard. If you're brand new, welcome back if you are not. And welcome home if that fits for you. Thanks for being here. Today we're going to talk about what's up this week for the week of the 8th of April through the 14th of April, 2024. As most of you happen to know, this is a big week astrologically. We have a full solar eclipse happening on Monday. Yeah, that ain't all, y'all. So let's get into it. So on Monday, we have the moon in Aries conjunct the sun in Aries. Of course, that's a new moon, right? It's also a full solar eclipse. And to the minute, that happens to be conjunct Chiron as well. So we have a triad, right? Moon, sun, Chiron, all locating the celestial space of 19 degrees, 24 minutes of Aries. So later in the evening, we also have that Aries moon conjunct retrograding Mercury, also in Aries, by the way. So this is a self-themed celestial event, right? The opportunity for healing root causes and really loading them up, right, really abounds. New methods that will allow for long-term changes that will stick are completely available to you today. You're creating your future in the here and now, right? So the key here is tell your story and tell it big, tell it bold. Don't be afraid to mend fences. Don't be afraid to heal patterns. Revisit your rifts, right? And absolutely allow for epiphanies. There is a lot available to you through this eclipse. Utilize it, right? Utilize it. We'll talk more about it. I'll do a whole video on the eclipse. So I've got a lot of information available too on my social medias. So if you're looking for some, you can check those out. On Tuesday, the 9th, the moon moves into Taurus early, and that Taurus moon is going to square Pluto. So on Tuesday, we're going to deepen into the whole kind of eclipse self-care theme, right? Especially as that moon moves into Taurus, right? That's going to offer you some depth. Depth when it comes to dedicating yourself to that concept of self-care and self-love, right? Beneath the idea of like spa life, right? Which is beautiful, and Taurus loves that. Make sure that you're being mindful of the currents of what the eclipse brought to the surface, right? Because there are things that should be coming up for you that are going to want to be released, relieved, moved out, corrected, right? And that's okay. Just make sure that you're minding the store, so to speak, when it comes to the full picture of what's being offered to you. On Wednesday, the 10th, that Taurus moon is going to sextile Mars and Saturn, and then conjunct Jupiter and Uranus. And Venus in Pisces is going to conjunct Saturn in Pisces. So this is a day to get shit done, right? It's going to be super effective in terms of how you accomplish what you want to accomplish. Your heart's desire can spring to life and also spring into action. So make sure that you're, as you're undertaking new projects, creating new routines and rituals for yourself in this theme of self-care, make sure that you're also aware that the assurance, right, that your consciousness is going to shift as you go into motion on all of these new and improved kinds of things, right? If your heart's in it, then you're absolutely going to win it. So make sure that you move with that assurance in mind, right? That whole concept of what would you do if you knew you could not fail? Well, put that into action because it's very prevalent right now. Thursday, the 11th of April, That Taurus moon is going to sextile Neptune early in the morning, and then right around the time of coffee, the moon will move into Gemini, right? Which is it's an exciting shift, right? That Gemini moon is going to trine Pluto. The sun in Aries will conjunct retrograding Mercury around dinner time, and then that Gemini moon is going to sextile Venus. So that moon's motion into Gemini makes it kind of a chatty day, right? Your brain is going to be very capable of juggling a lot of ideas, a lot of concepts, right? A lot of insight. All these things that have been coming into your conscious as the whole eclipse energy has been coming in, right? So these insights are landing in fractal patterns, right? If you're interested, you might witness that as kind of a dance of your own conscious energy. But here's your tip for the day. Make sure that you're writing those awarenesses down, right? Because they can change your life, but you have to log them. You have to be able to go back to where you got them. And our conscious tendency can be to not always remember them. And so if you can create a record for yourself so that your conscious doesn't have to be bound by remembering, write it down, write it down, write it down. And then whatever's coming, take some intellectual risks, right? This Gemini moon really gives you some options. And as the sun is conjunct Mercury retrograde, it's asking you to be mindful, but also the rest of the energy is saying, take an intellectual risk, right? Defy your own logic, challenge your own thought forms. This does not mean step into action on them if you don't believe it's warranted, right? Every Mercury retrograde comes with the inherent, please check, check, triple check. That's the way we do it. But take an intellectual risk, right? At least in your own, lexicons. On Friday, the 12th, that Gemini moon is going to square Saturn and Mars and sextile Chiron and retrograding Mercury. So the week's energy finally slows down on Friday, right? We start to feel a little breathing room. The downside is that you might feel a little overwrought by all of this big energy, like you're spent, like, whew, right? So you might have some arguments that pop up. You might fall into some old reactive patterns, or you might have the, let's call it the magnetic pull of some old patterns, right? You might find yourself almost saying the things that you know you should not say, and we're air quoting should, or even saying them, right? And we all know that those consequences are exciting. So just find yourself reminding yourself to think first, right? Think first, think first. Never a bad option, but on Friday, a great option. On Saturday the 13th, that Gemini moon is going to sextile the sun, square Neptune. The moon moves into Cancer around lunchtime, and then that Cancer moon is going to quincunx Pluto later on in the day. So question your motives on Saturday. If they are not clear to you, and I mean clear to you, stop, right? Remind yourself of your why, remind yourself of your goals, remind yourself of your own intentions, and then don't back out of your purpose as the day progresses, even if it feels intense, especially if it feels intense, right? Because sometimes when the intensity ramps up, it's because it's important. And so the more that you can stay in it, the better your chances that you're going to get to where you want to go with whatever that is. On Sunday the 14th, that Cancer moon is going to square Venus in Aries. and then trine Saturn and Mars in Pisces. So your tendency toward defensiveness on Sunday might offer you a whole lot of reasons to take all of your opportunities to practice the pause. On Sunday, practice the pause. Your surroundings might feel a little triggering. They might feel a little unsafe or uncomfortable, even if they're not, okay? Even if it's just your own personal sense of feelingness. Keep circling back to your own sense of home, right? And when we're talking about Venus as that sense of home, remember what we're talking about is, yeah, look at that, is what home smells like, feels like, tastes like, sounds like, what it is for you, right? So circle back to that sense of home as your own innate source of safety, right? Clean, do something, create your sense of home as the best use for your energy in that new version of self-care, right? And remember that you cannot lose an argument in which you are not engaged, okay? So don't pick up the rope if somebody invites you to play tug of war. You don't have to pick up that rope. This is a great week to be in bless and release mode. Perfect for that. All right, let's get on it. Let's see what we got here. So on Monday, we've got, the Six of Wands and the Emperor. Fabulous. This is fabulous energy for this eclipse day, right? This is an eclipse in Aries. It's a new moon in Aries. So we have victory and the Emperor. How are you creating your realm? Again, we talked about this as the day for real self-healing, real self-definition, really mending fences, healing patterns, revisiting your rifts, and allowing for epiphanies. Guess what? You have all the power here, and you do. In this eclipse, you have all the power. Whatever narrative anybody else is trying to push or create for you, you are the sovereign creator of your own reality. So what you're creating is what is manifesting for you. Create your future in the here and now. Tell your story, right? This is about victory and your realm. Don't overlook the power of this day or this pair, right? Be in that. It's beautiful. On Tuesday, you have the Three of Cups and the World. So this is also very lovely. So Three of Cups is about celebration, right? It's how we share our own victories, right? Our victories. And the World is about cycle completion and integration and moving forward. And so we talked about this as really kind of deepening into self-care, right? Dedicating yourself to your own self-love. Not just the spa life, but what the eclipse brought to surface. So we're integrating not just for ourselves, but for everyone around us, because we know that that is the way that we can create an inception, the way that we can dedicate ourselves to our lives as a celebration, right? This shared emotional, let's call it, sense of satisfaction is really a moving forward of that beautiful Six of Wands that we saw on Monday. So the way that we want to create that is lovely, right? And how can we do that? Well, we can do that by integrating our business. That's how we move forward for us and anyone else. On Wednesday the 10th, you have the Hermit and Strength. So this is about really coming to grips with your own inner stuff, right? We talked about this as really being effective today in your sense of getting your business done, right? Your heart's desires springing to life and action, undertaking new projects with the assurance that your consciousness is going to shift as you claim motion, right? These are your inner demons. This is how you find them and manage them. If your heart is in it, right, your beautiful heart light is in both of these cards, right? Strength is really showing you where your where your self victories are, right? How you tame your own outdated patterns and create them as something new and strong for you. And the Hermit is the way that you have fearfully and fiercely entered that space. So if your heart's in it, you're definitely going to win it, right? Don't forget. Create it. Create it. On Thursday, you have the Six of Cups and the Magician. Six of Cups is that card of unconditional love, right? This is how you exist in the world before you're hurt, before you understand loss, heartbreak, or sadness, right? This is that pure nurturing. And the Magician is that elemental magic. What are you creating from this deepest sense of love? Really witnessing that your conscious is bringing those insights into, let's call it play, as your fractal patterning is writing your awareness. Making sure that you're letting those patterns change your life. Taking those intellectual risks, right? Understanding that when you're grounded, when you're here standing on this solid ground, there's nothing from which you cannot create as that energy. So, you know, knowing your source, understanding your source, and then utilizing it is beautiful, right? And it's only as good as your fuel. So it's only as good as that, as your understanding of this. This is why we do the work, right? On Friday, you have the Five of Swords and the Two of Wands. So here's the deal. We talk about this as a day to slow down, feeling a little bit overwrought. Arguments, right? Understanding that we're always making the higher choice, right? This is disagreements, conflict. Sure, absolutely, it's there. It's available to you. If you can take the high road, that's on you. Think first, think first. Think first. Very simple. Very simple. Just be in your highest and best choices on Friday. We have the Knight of Wands and the Queen of Cups on Saturday. We talked about this as a day of having your motivations be clear. And if they're not, absolutely stop. Keeping your eyes on the prize. This is impulsive action, right? This is the way that we follow our heart. The Queen of Cups being the only closed cup in the deck, reminding you that making sure that you're following your source of contentment, your options, and if not, then you have to rein that back. Yeah, this is about your purpose, and not backing out if the feelings get intense. Staying in it, right? This Knight of Wands, it has that power. So what you're going to do with it is 100% up to you. Stay in it, though. Stay in it. Stay with your goals, your choices. On Sunday the 14th, you have the Seven of Wands and the Five of Wands. So we talked about defensiveness. Well, there it shows up, right? What are you defending, and where are you standing on posture instead of purpose? Really making sure that you're practicing the pause, understanding that you are the guy with the wand in his hand, right? So if it's uncomfortable, it might be your perspective. That might be a need to change. Coming back always to your sense of home, remembering that it's your feet that are on the ground, and what you choose to do from that stance is 100% up to you, right? Knowing that if you choose not to engage in this postured ceremony of blockage, right, you cannot lose. If you don't pick up the rope, nobody can engage you in tug of war, right? Know what you know like you know it. Yeah. So, in keeping with our beautiful eclipse theme, we have bless and release. And that's what we're doing, right? This is a self-themed celestial event this week. Really throwing our root causes up into the air and making sure that if we don't want them, we can choose not to catch them. We can choose to simply double down on what we do want and release what we don't want with our blessing. Thank you for being here. Thank you for serving me while you existed and were necessary. I have now evolved past that, and I'm not going to carry that into the future. So just make sure that you're really letting go what you don't need. So check this out. The Royal You. I love this card. It's gorgeous. Let's see. Of course, it's in the fire energetic, right? Look at that. Look at that beautiful crown. That's amazing. Let's see what the Oracle has to say here. Oh, look at how perfect it is. Okay, as I read this, think about new moon solar eclipse in Aries, conjunct Chiron, that which allows us to tell the new story, okay? Key concepts: sovereignty, responsibility, self-confidence, self-rule, ownership of your feelings and actions, a quiet sense of empowerment, being self-aware and not allowing outside influences out of alignment with your truth. Oh boy. Do you know what it means to express personal sovereignty in your life? It's about how you hold your inner sense of worth and integrity, securing your belief that you have a unique purpose. It's about feeling uncomfortable in your own skin, knowing who you are, and that nothing outside you can challenge your authentic self, the hard-won seat of awareness that you have earned. I mean, wow. You are the ruler of your mind. Mercury retrograde in Aries. And you're being invited now to consider what discipline you need to apply to your thoughts. Are they consistent with the values and beauty you intend for your life? Venus in Aries. It's important now to keep your focus on what is right and good for you as well as others. Pluto in Aquarius. Challenges in your life at this time, no matter how large or small, must be met with a measured response. Mars and Saturn conjunct in Pisces. If life sends you a challenge, can you speak up and set your boundaries with grace and surety? Calm, intelligent leadership is called for now. Jupiter, Uranus in Taurus. Sovereigns know when to plan their battles, so stay out of unnecessary skirmishes and strategically wield your personal power. Now is the time to lead from the heart, from your authenticity and integrity. Hold your head high and know your worth. That is the mark of a true sovereign. Listen. How many times have I said you cannot be the sovereign creator of your own reality and believe the conspiracy theory that there are forces outside of you trying to control you? It doesn't work that way, my friends. It does not work that way. The bottom line is that you either believe you're in control of your reality, or you believe your reality is controlled. You can't hold space for both of those beliefs, right? You just can't. So if you can allow for this concept of the Royal You, and then bless and release anything that doesn't agree with it, you are serving yourself. At this time of this brilliant Aries eclipse in the Sun, Moon, and Chiron all conjunct at 19 degrees of Aries, right? Heal your root cause, which is looking outside of you for anything, for validation, or for direction, or for healing, or for anything else. All of your answers are within you, right? They're within you. All of your answers are within you. End of story, right? Woo, y'all. We're always being drawn right back to the middle of it, which is us, right? Yeah. Okay. Blessed eclipse. We'll talk a little bit more about that. Other than that, whatever you choose to do on this day of eclipse, be safe, right? Be blessed. Take care.